So here's my rant for the minute. It's also in the afternoon, which means I'm likely to trail off my rant even more so than I usually do in the mornings. But I want to talk about the relational nature of neurodivergent experience, the experience of self, neurotypical sense of experience of self if I'm holding onto my neurotypical mask. And I ask myself, what am I? I'm going to respond with, I'm this, I'm here, I'm separate over here, and you're over there. If I ask myself in my neurodivergent neurologic experiencing of myself, and I ask myself, what am I experience the experience that's happening. It's a sensory experiencing of a bunch of things that aren't happening inside this body first. It's the experience. Who knows where the boundaries are? It could be 20 feet out, it could be 50 feet out, it could be like little blobs of spaces, including my loved ones right now, the 5 people who I'm most close to. Our nervous systems are co-regulating on a quantum level. I'm saying quantum in recognizing that I am not a quantum physicist and that I'm likely saying it wrong. So please give me some breadth here and understand what I'm trying to say, me admitting that it's not quite in the quantum thing, but by quantum thing, I'm meaning spooky shit at a distance that physics can't really understand. So what, from the highly sensitive or extremely highly sensitive person or empathic person, we have access to experience that's being experienced by a separate nervous system, not ours in this body, but somehow we have direct access to physiological processing information in a different location that we shouldn't have access to based on what our 5 senses can afferently feedback to our brain. So from my neurodiverse, highly sensitive point of view, when I ask myself, what am I? And I sit quietly and I receive whatever answers when I ask myself a question, I'm getting information, including information that's coming from the other bodies that make me up. Because if I'm really the five people that I spend the most time with, and if you've seen me do the energy work from a distance, you recognize that we are physiologically responding to something that somebody else is doing with their focus. So this is stuff that's happening, right? And I'm pointing at a neurodiverse neurology that's perceiving and sensing this connection from a distance. Okay, so now if I'm in relationship with somebody's, with some other person who has access to a neurodiverse software program, nod to Aaron Manning saying that neurotypical, there isn't any such thing as neurotypical, and that neurotypical is synonymous with white, with the experience of being white. If I heard her speaking correctly about that, it's an interesting line of thought to follow. Um, so if I'm interacting with you right now, say, and I'm looking at how can we change, how can we influence each other? Well, how am I going to influence you is by changing me, because right now you are me. If you are tapped into your neurodiverse nature, you are feeling me. So what am I going to do to communicate with you pre-linguistically so you get the message without having to listen to these words that then go to your brain to decipher the words, to put some meaning together and start stacking words? How else can we communicate? Well, I can do this. What did I just do? Now I'm doing something else. What am I doing now? What am I doing here? Okay, I'm doing stuff with my focus and I'm moving emotion around in my body and in space. And to the degree you have access to your neurodivergent software program, you're tracking what I'm doing. You're feeling what I'm doing. And it's directly co-regulating in training our systems. That's my rant.